going on, guys? It's me, Airliner fan HT here, and today we have the Airliners International 2025 experience video for you guys. I hope you guys are excited for today's video. I'm super excited to do this once again for the third time in a row, and this is gonna be a fun video you don't want to miss. So with that being said, let's get started. I'm so glad to be back doing these Airliners experience videos. I was beyond fortunate to attend my third Airliners convention in Atlanta, Georgia. Same goes for the previous two conventions I attended. I'm excited to show you all my experience during my stay in ATL. But before that, let me explain you all the background information about Airliners International and why this is a great convention to attend. Airliners International is an aviation convention that's held annually. The convention will normally take place in late June. And considering that they've been hosting the event in many airports across the United States, there have been past Airliners conventions that were hosted in Canada. It is the largest airline history conference and collectible show, and one of the largest aviation gatherings ever, drawing in many aviation enthusiasts from around the world. This year's Airliners convention was held at the world's busiest airport, Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, located in Atlanta, Georgia. It lasted from June 25th to the 28th, and was the 48th annual convention overall. This was the fourth time Atlanta became the host city for Airliners International, as the previous conventions before 2025 took place in 1994, 2015, and 2019. The vendor hall that houses all these aviation memorabilia items was the famous Delta Flight Museum, which recently got renovated to celebrate Delta's 100th anniversary. The museum is famous for its Spirit hangar, which houses a Boeing 767-200 named the Spirit of Delta. In addition, you also got the Legacy hangar, which houses a DC-3 and other historical aircraft. This was a nice callback to the 2015 and 2019 convention, so it's nice for the past Airliners attendees to experience this again, but it's also exciting for the newcomers who will get to experience this for the first time. The hotels the attendees stayed at were the Renaissance Concourse Airport Hotel and the Kimpton Overland Hotel Atlanta Airport. Due to the number of attendees at this year's convention, the Kimpton Hotel had to be added months before the convention took place. This was a similar situation to last year's convention in Kansas City. There were a total of 261 vendor tables inside the Spirit hangar of the Delta Flight Museum, which houses many aviation memorabilia items from model planes, timetables, safety cards, postcards, and a whole lot more. The Legacy hangar had some vendor tables too, but there were more on Delta memorabilia items rather than items from other airlines. Now that you know some background information about Airliners 2025, let's talk about my trip. I left my home airport of SMF late in the evening on June 24th, and arrived here in ATL the following day during the early hours in the morning. This was a similar flight I took when I went to Kansas City last year. In addition, it was operated by the same flight number. I didn't do too much when I arrived in Atlanta other than plane spotting at the South Domestic Parking Garage. I'll say, I did catch a lot of Delta planes from narrow bodies to heavies, and some amazing departures and arrivals from different airlines too. After spending hours of plane spotting, I took a 9-minute bus ride to the Renaissance Hotel. Once I arrived, I was about to get my registration in until I met with some familiar faces, including Connor or CM Aviation, Anderson or Syracuse Aviation, JJ Aviation, Gabriel Cramp Aviator, Lucas Aviation 1853, and many others. I was very happy to meet my friends in person again. It almost feels like forever since I last saw them. Now as of that time, I had a tour that I was supposed to be on, which was the first Atlanta Ram tour that lasted from 11:15 a.m. to 1 p.m. Unfortunately, I missed the opportunity for this tour because I was supposed to be at the ATL airport by exactly 11:15 a.m. I first thought that a school bus was going to transport the tour attendees from the Renaissance to the airport for the tour, but it just so happens that the bus arrived early so it could drop off the tour attendees and had to go through TSA screening before the tour even started. While I unfortunately missed out on my only tour from this convention, it was a good learning lesson for me. Luckily for myself, I was able to stay in Lucas's room for a bit while the tour was in session. We had a great time talking together and traded aviation items as well. But I actually did not stay in the Renaissance Hotel. I'll get into the hotel I stayed at shortly. After spending most of the afternoon in the Renaissance, me and Lucas went down to the lobby to meet a well-known friend, Eduardo or Ed Aviation. His flight from Las Vegas was cancelled, but thankfully he found another morning flight that is well suited for him, and he was able to make it before the spotting meetup we had later today. That brings me back to the hotel I was going to be staying at. As mentioned before, I did not have a room at the Renaissance. Instead, Ed provided a room for himself, including me, at the La Quinta Inn and Suites, which is located north of the Renaissance Hotel. That's about a 3-minute drive, or a 12-minute walk. It was so nice to share a room with my friend just like last year. We sure had a lot of fun during the first few minutes of meeting each other. Then it was off to the ATL plane spotting meetup at the South's domestic parking garage. It was fun plane spotting with a group of people once again. We spotted a bunch of Delta aircrafts, including the 100-year special delivery on the A350. It was awesome seeing this aircraft in person, and shout out to CM Aviation for organizing this. It was a lot of effort putting this together. In addition, I also caught a couple of international airlines like a Cargolux 747-400 freighter, Virgin Atlantic AC-3300, British Airways 777-200ER, and a whole lot more. Make sure to stay tuned for the upcoming plane spotting video from that day within the next couple of weeks. Then it was time for the big day. On Thursday, me and Ed woke up to a beautiful cloudy morning with a few clear skies. Pretty much your average weather here in Atlanta during the summertime. We had breakfast together, called in a lift to the Renaissance, and then we rode a school bus to the Delta Flight Museum. At that moment, I was not only excited to visit the Delta Flight Museum for the first time, but also for the collectible show too. And once 12 PM hit, that's where the fun began. So why don't I provide you guys some video clips of all the fun we had before the show's opening. Not excited, oh my god. Oh, hang on. 11 minutes. 11 minutes? We got 10 minutes into the convention, everybody. Yes, sir. Hey.
Oh, he's just gone.
He's got to do something. He's got to do something.
50!
Chris, get over here.
50! Chris, play it, 48 seconds. Here we go. 45!
Here we go, everybody.
3, 2, 1.
And they're open.
Welcome to Airliners International 2025.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Chris leading the way. Everybody's here. Here we go. It was so amazing to see everyone come inside the Delta Flight Museum once the show opened. Similar to last year, I explored around the hangar just to get a full scope of the vendor tables and the memorabilia items that were laid out. Let's have a look at some video clips I did while I was making my rounds. And here we are at Squatchy Diecast Hangars' vendor table. I think I purchased them all from here before, but Squatchy's is known to be in the Pacific Northwest, mainly in Tacoma, Washington, and I'm glad to see them here at Atlanta for this convention. They were here last year and I got some models with them. Now there's this one vendor table that sells so many Aero Classics for good deals that I decided to check this out. So here's some Aero Classics there for $40 each, which is really cool. There's some Electras right there. There's $50 each on some of the planes right here, like 727s, Spirit A220, Saudia. Jet Set Models is back here at Airliners International. Look at all the amazing GST equipment right there. There's also some 1-400 Poliduses. There's the Amazon trucks right there. Southwest GSCs, and man. And as I come around here, we have Texan Airplane Stores' vendor table. We got a variety of edgy models right there. Wow, there's the United Max 9, Delta MD-88. I spent most of the entire day inside the Delta Flight Museum, collecting items like model planes, postcards, and more. But it was soon time to head back to the Renaissance Hotel, because it was time for the welcome party reception. This year's welcome party was similar to last year's, as it was mostly a get-together. The attendees went down to the lobby where you get to enjoy some pork sliders, chips, beverages, and live music too. It was also fun mingling with friends and other people who were present too. Plus, I also got to see the Delta A350-900 in the Team USA livery as she was being towed right in front of the hotel. After the welcome party has ended, I along with the rest of the crew waited in the lobby for a couple of minutes before we head downstairs to do an annual tradition here at Airliners, the Slimmerville Airport Update organized by Connor McCauley himself. It was so fun for most of us to be doing the tradition here for the third time in a row. While the setup is different than normal, we had some new guests that were present with us too. Day 2 was almost the same deal as day 1, but at 12 PM, I attended Connor's seminar about his passion of collecting 750 plus Gemini Jets models on YouTube for 15 years. It was so amazing to have him have a seminar here at Airliners. Plus, what better way to have it hosted than inside the Spirit of Delta 767. The number of people who attended this seminar were outstanding. Big shout out goes to Connor or CM Aviation for his outstanding presentation. It was so amazing to hear him talk about this topic for the seminars this year. I also got to explore the competition room too. I will add, the entries for this year's convention were incredible. Everything from model planes, postcards, or miscellaneous, they were incredible to take a look at. One of them really stands out to me, but I'll go over that once I post my Day 2 vlog. Soon after, I headed down to the city room to attend a WAS Next Gen meeting. Though not on my schedule, it was so amazing to be able to take part in this. I was able to share my aviation background to many people who were there, including some new friends. Oddly enough, this was more of a gathering despite the event being labeled as a seminar. Then it was time for the second plane spotting meetup during this convention. Well, I take that back. This was a whole lot different compared to Wednesday. While the meetup was at the same location, by the time I got there, the airport was on a ground stop because of one thing in particular.
No, I would be fucking with that. Look how strong. Holy
Woo! God damn! I just recorded that! No! What the what? That day marked a historical moment in Airliners International history, mainly for most of us who were present. Despite the amount of thunderstrikes we saw, in addition to a flash flood warning, we were all safe. We ended up returning to the Renaissance after that, but I was invited to a friend's room so we can have a little bit of fun before the next day. I did a full video covering this whole event. Feel free to check it out on the card on the top right corner. Day 3 was a big day for me, as this marked the final day of the collectible show. Unlike Day 1 and Day 2, I was able to go almost all out on those discounts. Plus, I also got some amazing aviation memorabilia items too. Many of them were great deals. Once the collectible show closed at 3 p.m, I along with Ed both chilled in our hotel room for a couple of minutes. We organized our belongings before our flights back home tomorrow. After that, we both went down to downtown Atlanta where we got to walk at the Centennial Olympic Park. It was fun to see the sights and sounds here in downtown. Many of the people I came across were very friendly to us. After that, it was time to head back to the Delta Flight Museum for the Saturday night banquet. It was amazing to be able to attend this for the second time in a row. A cash bar was held at the Renaissance Hotel, but that's more for the older guys. Once inside the Spirit Hangar, we were greeted to a great layout of tables for all of us to sit. I was fortunate enough to be able to sit with my two best friends, which felt amazing for me. This year's banquet provided some delicious meal entries. My favorite has got to be the salmon and vegetables. In addition, I also got a salad and a piece of bread. There were also some chicken and other entrees too. Those were also good. In addition, there were also 2 trivia games, one being a simple trivia game during the beginning, and a name the plane contest. In all honesty, I did poorly on the first trivia, but I did better on the name the plane contest. Regardless of what score I got for those 2 trivia games, it was a lot of fun, and I got to learn some aviation history along the way. There were also some door prize raffle sessions too. Each of us have a bag tag, and once those last 4 digits were called, either of us won a prize. I, along with others, were fortunate enough to be one of the lucky individuals to win a prize. I'll go over what I won in a future video. David H. Stringer was this year's banquet speaker. His presentation was about the history of Southern Airways, nobody's second class on Southern. It was so cool to see him come up to the stage and talk about this intercity airline's history. He even talked about his experience when he was a flight attendant on Southern. Plus, some of his colleagues were present during the banquet event. Big shout out goes to Mr. Stringer for his outstanding presentation. It was amazing to learn about the airline's history and operations during that time period. Sunday marked the final day for this trip, and the day after the convention. I didn't do too much rather than doing my final preparations for my flight back home. After that, I visited the Delta Flight Museum one final time and went to downtown Atlanta once more. Almost similar to Saturday, but I was alone for this one. And that's where this trip ends. I soon headed back to Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson for my flight back to Sacramento via a layover at Charlotte Douglas International. I actually did many things during my layover at CLT, so make sure to stay tuned for those videos coming soon. But to conclude this trip, I had a great time at this year's Airliners International convention, and to be honest, this year was a whole lot better than the 2 previous conventions. No words can really describe how I really felt. But even though it's sad for me that this convention is already over, I can still cherish these amazing memories for many years to come. The amount of attendees was through the roof for this one, especially for the younger generation. What Chris Slimmer said was really true. We are the future. It's so awesome to see younger individuals coming to these airliners conventions, and if this continues, we could see future airliner shows get even bigger. And speaking of future airliner shows, make sure to attend next year's show during Airliners International 2026 in Denver, Colorado. We'll see how next year's convention plays out, and hopefully we can see the exact same results as what we saw for this year's show in ATL. As of right now, we just have little details for the DEN show, but hopefully we can see more of that within the next couple of months. In addition to all the vendor tables, tours, seminars, and a few references to float a boat, this was a successful turnout for me and everyone else. The selections they offered were amazing, and I think the Airliners crew did a phenomenal job organizing them. Big shout out goes to Chris Slimmer, Bill Demarest, Layla Coley, and all the members of the World Airline Historical Society for making this convention possible. Your amazing efforts and gratitude have given us a convention us aviation enthusiasts enjoyed. Without it, we wouldn't be in the position we're in today. And shout out to everyone who was present during the convention, and for those who came to say hi to me. It was so amazing to interact with my fellow friends during this year's show. They post some amazing video content, so I would highly recommend checking their social media pages. There were so many of you I came across with, but I'll try my best to leave everyone's social media handles in the description of this video below. To give you my final words for this video, Airliners International is an outstanding aviation convention to attend. Trust me, you're gonna love it here. They have all the aviation memorabilia items you can get your hands on. And hopefully I can attend next year's Airliners International show in Denver so we can share our passion for our aviation all day long. So, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell icon so you won't miss a new upload from me anytime soon. And don't forget to check out my Airliners International 2025 playlist. It features all the videos and shorts I created from that convention. And there's gonna be more videos coming up within the next couple of months. And don't forget to check out the Airliners International 2025 community content playlist JJ Aviation created. It not just features my videos, but all the other videos from the other content creators who came to Airliners International this year. So, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Good night.